Hello and welcome live at the BERNABEU Managing Madrid podcast special edition. It's a long story. The long story short is it took me a while to get inside, get my accreditation, and get here, and that's why we're late. And on top of that, when I logged on and saw Lucas here, I couldn't find the cord for my microphone, so we're going raw. We're going raw, no mic, just headphones, pure audio into the laptop. So here we go. Lucas, what's up, man? How you doing?
Hey man, I'm doing fine. Looking forward to the game, really.
Later on, we'll do a reveal of the catering.
Oh wow,
We'll
a sandwich, I
bag.
guess.
We'll
Yeah,
open the bag to
sandwich.
see our jamon y queso, bocadillo, and our
Yeah,
apple.
yeah.
We'll do a quick sneak peek for those of you guys on YouTube. The glorious stadium that it is, we're here. So I guess we start, Lucas, with the starting lineup, which caught us up by surprise a little bit.
Definitely. In case you guys don't know or haven't checked, Ancelotti has decided to sit Rodrigo on the bench and start just Bellingham and Vinicius up front. So just to sum it up real quick, it's Lunin, Carvajal, Rudiger, Nacho, Mendy, Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Valverde. Camavinga? Yes, Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Valverde, Kroos, Bellingham, and Vinicius. Exactly, yeah. So a bit of a surprising and defensive-minded lineup here. I'm not entirely sure it sends the right message in terms of, maybe it shows that you are kind of concerned / scared about the game. Although I think it's a decent lineup. But again, maybe if the context of the game was to capitalize on the counter-attacking chances you get, Rodrigo was probably going to make sense here, and probably it was a good opportunity for him to regain his form and confidence. So anyway, we'll see what happens. And it's definitely a surprising lineup, to say the least.
It's surprising. It's always a surprise when Carlo Ancelotti does something a little bit different. Even though he's had several formation changes this season, when it's like kind of all out of nowhere and everybody's healthy, it's a little bit more surprising. In some ways, it's not surprising if you listen to what he was saying before the game. And I asked him what he wanted to improve on the second leg before the game, and he said transitions. Like, we need to improve. Leipzig are good in transitions, so the Real Madrid players just stepped on the field. Big round of applause. If he wants to control the amount of space that Leipzig will have, and you already have a lead, I don't see why this is a bad lineup. I actually like the lineup. I just want to put it out there. As much as I love Rodrigo and what he brings to the attack, I think I've been dreaming of the day, Lucas, where you can fit in all your best midfielders on the team in the lineup. And today we got it. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, how many times has this happened?
I don't think we've seen it. I don't think we've seen it.
Got left back.
Sure, exactly. That's the exception. So, yeah, on that front, it's good. I'm not sure what your offensive presence will be with considering that Vinicius and Bellingham, I assume, will be the one taking on Rodrigo's role mainly. So I guess he'll be the one playing as a false nine, if you will, with Vinicius kind of having the freedom and the room to operate and kind of do whatever he wants. So looking forward to that. I don't know. I'm guessing that if Leipzig kind of refuse to press really hard and all that and sit back, I'm not sure who will be the offensive presence inside the box. And if you don't have any, it'll be tough to find good scoring opportunities. And on one hand, I like the lineup because, again, it gives you the control aspect of the game that you might need with those five midfielders starting. Five if you consider Bellingham as a midfielder. But on the other, I'm a bit worried that you didn't have much of an offensive presence when Rodrigo was starting. As you could clearly see in the game at Mestalla. And now that not even Rodrigo is starting and Vinicius is your only pure attacker there, I don't know. Maybe you will lack some offensive presence in that regard, but we'll have to wait and see, I guess.
that would be the ultimate curveball if Leipzig decided to sit back and not press. I mean, everyone expects them to be more aggressive, to press high, to be attack minded, chase the lead, and I think Real Madrid expect that too. Let's say that happens and they decide to sit back and you don't have that extra line breaker in Rodrigo. I think it'll be fine. I mean, Jude and Vinny can be dangerous in those positions. I think also with regards to what you lose in attack, and I've seen people call this a more defensive lineup, which I suppose it is. They're not
It
wrong.
is, yeah.
But I assume that Fede will take a more offensive role in this game.
Camavinga as well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is Camavinga's best position. We've been crying out for this. And let's say if Leipzig sit back and want to hit you on the counter, well, you're not in a rush to break them. You can control the play. And if they do counter, you have all the pieces you need in transition, plus Mendy at left back, which gives you the defensive security you need. I like it. I like it. Maybe I'm being naive, but I've just been dreaming of the day that we can fit Cruz, Fede, Tchouaméni, Camavinga, and Jude all on the field at the same time. I like it, Lucas. I like it.
I like it in principle. I don't love it in this game. I think you're favorite enough. You're favorite enough to kind of not send this message, right? I think in another game, for example, if you do this against a Manchester City and you try to take the ball away from them and try to control the tempo of the game and kind of catch them off guard in that regard, obviously, I think I would love it a bit more than I do in this context. I think at the Bernabeu at home with the lead on the score, and also again Real Madrid are the heavy favorites to beat Leipzig. So maybe in this context, in this specific context against Leipzig at home with a 1-0 lead on aggregate, I don't love it as much as I would love it in again against a very powerful team like say Manchester City, say Bayern, say even PSG maybe, where you will try to slow things down and kind of control the midfield a little bit more. In this particular and specific context, I don't love it as much as I would in some other matches, I think.
I guess this discussion would be a little bit different if Rodrigo was firing right now.
Sure.
And was in like undroppable form. I think it would make the conversation for me a lot different. I also think, I mean, Fede this season, for various stretches of the season, has had to play deeper to compensate for our midfielders missing due to injury. And I just kind of have missed him driving the ball forward because he's so unstoppable in that situation. And the thought of being able to see that more today excites me. Again, I have no idea what's going to happen. I assume that I assume that Leipzig will be aggressive and Fede, Vinicius, and Jude will be dangerous in transition. That's what I'm expecting. And I think that'll suit us. Also, like the fact that you can bring off Rodrigo off the bench. I mean, it kind of gives you like 2022 Champions League vibes, I suppose. It also means Brahim now takes a further back seat, and I think we all want to see Brahim on the field. So there are pros and cons to it. And look, we always knew that, Lucas, before the season started, we talked about this so much. How are we going to squeeze in all these midfielders? There's so many of them. Mm-hmm. And today, we have Modric, Ceballos, and I guess Arda Güler on the bench, plus Brahim and Rodrigo. The bench is really strong tonight. And God forbid we have a heart attack scenario where we need those guys, and it's a long game, 120 minutes. God forbid. I really don't want to sit through that tonight. But you have a strong bench and a strong 11. So I guess I'm cautiously optimistic about it overall. I haven't actually had a chance to look at Leipzig's. I think it's the same. Openda, Sesko, Simons, Olmo, Schlager, Aidara. I mean, I think it's the same. Oh, Simikin's not there. Is he injured? Suspended? And no
I don't see it. Yeah.
Yeah. So Vinny goes up against Hendricks tonight, and Orban, who will be on the inside. Vinny will have, I assume, way more space tonight than he did in Leipzig.
Should be the case. It definitely should be the case. Again, I'm interested in seeing how Leipzig react to this change of lineup from Real Madrid. If I were Leipzig's coach, if I were Marco Rose, I would probably face the first 15-20 minutes and give Real Madrid the ball and say, okay, what do you want to do tonight? Because I think Real Madrid will miss an attacking presence if that's the case. So I'll be interested to see what Rose decides to do on the field, because I also think Olmo, Openda, and Sesco will be dangerous in counterattacks if Real Madrid turn the ball over. So I think, I don't know. I'm interested in. I'm really curious. Like, I wasn't especially looking forward to this game because I think Real Madrid kind of had everything in control and had every ingredient to take care of business without much hesitation. And all of a sudden, I think it's become interesting. On one hand, Real Madrid could dominate and show a very new, powerful formation with all those midfielders. And on the other, it could actually backfire a lot, in my opinion. And Chelsea has made it interesting with this lineup, I think.
You think it could backfire because mainly because it's too defensive?
Yeah, I think it could backfire if Real Madrid struggle offensively. The game is all of a sudden 0-0 and Leipzig find a lucky goal of a corner kick or whatever, and then Real Madrid, the game is tied. The whole tie is also leveled, and all of a sudden Real Madrid are chasing a goal without a pure attacker, really. So because Vinicius is a winger, so. Again, offensively, I think Real Madrid could potentially struggle. I'm not. This is not a take or a prediction or anything. It's just by looking at the lineup. Really, Vinicius is the only pure attacker. So, and Chelsea has made it interesting to me because on one hand, I would be looking forward to this kind of lineup against bigger opposition, maybe. But I also think he sent a bit of a wrong message by deploying this lineup tonight. I'll be curious to see what happens.
I think it's possible you can score more goals with a lineup like this than if you went with a more offensive lineup. Because, I'm just talking about how devastating Fede is in those positions where you can drive the ball forward while giving yourself defensive security with him there. But I don't know. I would just be absolutely shocked if Marco Rose went with a more defensive approach. He's probably in the locker room, Lucas, right now, like wondering, is Bellingham going to play? He doesn't know. He's still wondering that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where Bellingham plays is the main key to this game, and I think we're not sure if he's going to take on the Rodrigo role or if he's just going to be a fifth midfielder with trying to control the ball a lot more for Ancelotti. It'll be the most interesting aspect I look into for the first 10-15 minutes for sure.
I mean, I think you can kind of see it, right? You have too many at the base. The interesting thing is that Cruz and Camavinga both generally occupy the same position. So, Lo siento. It could be something like a double pivot even. We could see a double pivot with Tchouaméni, Camavinga, with Cruz towards the left, Fede on the right, and then Jude floating around and Vinicius on. I mean, this is what I'm saying. It's not a symmetrical formation either way. I don't think it's like a 4.
Never is, yeah.
I think it's going to be left heavy, but it'll be interesting just in part because Cruz and Fede generally occupy the same positions. Cruz and Camavinga generally occupy the same positions. We have good defensive security on the left. Remember that that side where Nacho was in Leipzig was a huge struggle. Now you have Mendy there, Camavinga there. I trusted a little bit more, to be honest with you. So,
you can do many things with this lineup. I mean, it would be weird to see this with players like Brahim and Rodrigo on the bench. But if you wanted to, you could also deploy Valverde on the right wing in the 2022 role he used to have, and then Tchouaméni, Camavinga, and Kroos in the midfield with Bellingham as a false 9 and Vinicius on the left. You could theoretically see that and do that as well if you wanted to. Again, it would be weird because that means that you're considering Valverde ahead of both Rodrigo and Brahim for the right wing spot, which would be weird. But I mean, it gives you a lot of flexibility and a lot of options. Definitely, this lineup. So my main interesting aspect to see is what's Ancelotti's priority and go-to move with this formation, because again, he can definitely change it in a lot of ways later on.
Well, first of all, is the music like too loud? Like, is it work?
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah.
Okay. I don't think this is a forever thing, Lucas. It's probably situational to today. What I
Oh, it
think would be
should be.
what I think would be interesting is if best case scenario, obviously, this formation is amazing tonight. And then you would start to think, okay, for the remainder of the big games in the Champions League, will this be the Once de Gala? Because if you're worried about transitions against Leipzig and their pressing, you're going to be 20 times more worried against Manchester City for those same tactical reasons. So if this works tonight, I assume you're going to copy and paste it, is my guess. For big games anyway. Not for
Definitely.
Southampton, but
Definitely makes more sense against those big teams than it makes sense now. Definitely.
I think I told you yesterday I had kind of a weird feeling about tonight. How do you feel?
I felt again very comfortable and very relaxed and kind of not really very interested in this game. I thought again I didn't have any particular weird feelings about it, and I was very confident and I'm about Real Madrid going through. Now I'm curious. It could go both ways. I see Real Madrid dominating the game with 70% of the ball and Leipzig not having a single shot. And I could also see Real Madrid struggling offensively and Leipzig finding a lucky goal there, which makes things interesting. I'm not entirely sure. Ancelotti has made things interesting with this change of lineup to me, which is good, I guess.
I don't know. It's funny because I have the opposite feeling. This lineup actually gave me confidence. I guess we'll wait and see who's right, whose feeling is right. I did a couple more things. Did you do anything? Because we recorded yesterday before Ancelotti's press conference and Camavinga's press conference. Did you pick up anything on those that you wanted to touch on?
Not really. I really loved, as I'm sure you did also, and pretty much every single journalist on the press room. I really loved Camavinga as a character, as a person. He's a very likable figure. Yeah, he's a very likable figure. This guy.
It was like
charming.
It was like watching I don't know, Dave Chappelle do a bit. It was like the whole room was. The only thing is at the end when he said, "Finally, someone asked me about the game." You're the only person. Thank you so much. The room went from laughing to oh, I don't know.
Shots fired.
I think they were a little bit butthurt about that one. I laughed out loud on that one. I laughed. So,
yeah, he's a good kid. Definitely, he's a very charming guy. So yeah, I really loved what he had to say about it. Also, I think he kind of criticized Gil Manzano for the Mestalla thing in a very funny way. Like, he came away very likable while also defending Real Madrid's interests, which is not easy because on one hand he complained very obviously about what happened at Mestalla, and on the other hand he still managed to come away from it in a very charismatic way. Yeah.
All right, we have 3 minutes. Do you want to see what's in the bag?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So listeners, you guys know that this is the most important part of every Champions League podcast we do. Lucas and I have to know what the food is like. So Germany was disappointing.
Green apple or red apple? Let's start with that.
This is the catering bag. This is the lunch bag Florentino Perez packed for me.
There goes the sandwich, for sure.
I'm going to guess it's on a croissant. Yep.
Oh, croissant with ham and cheese, I guess. Maybe a little bit of tomato.
It's like a cream cheese, no vegetables.
Okay.
It's like ham and cream cheese on a croissant.
All right.
Oh, we got another. There's two.
Yeah, there's a sandwich, I guess, with a Spanish ham. Jamon.
This is the sandwich with jamon.
Yeah. You're a vegan, man. You have to give that up.
I'm going to give it to the guy next to me. And one apple.
Oh, green apple.
Green apple. I will consume right away. I need this.
All right.
Oh.
And a chocolate chocolate bar. Yeah, the standard. Florentino kept it simple.
So, I'm going to rank this second last. Germany was dead last.
Germany was worse than this? Wow.
Germany was a buffet, but it was like looking at, in the Matrix when the guy's eating the food?
Come on. No. Yeah, I know.
That's what it looked like. It looked like goop. It was like buffet goop, all you can eat. I don't know. It's like disgusting. Number one is still anything in England. Anfield, Stamford Bridge, Etihad. Number one, it's like going to a Michelin 5-star buffet. It's
Number one for me is still Juventus. The time in 2015, I think I went. Yeah,
What was
that was in 2015 when we lost the opening leg. 2-1, I think we lost. Yeah.
Someone in the chat is saying, bro, there's no way Perez this gives this out. Not only does he give this out, he also makes us pay for the coffee. It's not free. You have to go to the vending machine and put euros like an idiot. Like no debit card. You have to put coins like it's 1950. Brand new stadium. You got to use coins to pay for coffee.
Just the water is free, yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'll give you guys one last view of the stadium. It's filling up.
Good atmosphere, looks like. Yeah.
It's gonna be a good one. It always hits when the Champions League anthem comes and the tifo gets rolled out. So
sure.
Yeah. So also the person who's Rasol about the compressor. If you join late, the reason is because I forgot the cord from my microphone today. That's why the audio sucks today. I didn't have my cord, so it's not as good. Sorry. It'll be better. It'll be better next time. All right, guys. Thank you, Lucas. Thank you. Enjoy the game.
Have fun. You too.
Thank you, guys. Take care. Peace out.